Djokovic a point away from the final here in Melbourne.
Please.
Djokovic dominates Federer in the first of the men's semi-final, and he gives himself a chance come Sunday for his 8th Australian Open title and potentially his 17th overall to close the gap on his greatest rivals. Well, he had respect for what Roger was capable of. He was a little frightened in the opening set when he trailed, but he turned it around, and once the tiebreaker had gone his way, he never really looked back, did he, Fitzy?
No, and I think in retrospect it's always easy, but once the first set had got away from Federer, the odds then were huge against him. And to his credit, I think he wanted to give this big crowd what they deserved. It's respect. It's returned in spades.
We always just keep expecting Roger to come back every year on year, because that's been the way it's been. But there is a time, and there will be a time, when he no longer is climbing up those steps along the corridor of champions past his name with the 6 titles on it, and we have to wonder when that time will be. It's been a tremendous run down here in Melbourne, given the fact that he didn't play a tournament coming in. There was a lot of unknown quantities about his tennis, not of his capabilities, of course. And I'm sure in his own way he's going to feel as though what he achieved here was monumental, especially coming through a couple of 5-setters. 8-4 down in the Champions Breaker to John Millman, reeled off 6 points, 7 match points saved against Sanger, and his year is up and running as Djokovic's team are out of their seats as he looks forward to playing on Sunday. And chatting now with Jim Courier.
Novak, it's the 8th time you've played a semi-final match here in Melbourne, and for the 8th time you'll be playing for the title on Sunday, but it didn't start out your way. Roger came out, got a quick start. He had you 4-1, some break points to go 5-1. What changed at that moment? How did you flip this match in your favor?
Well, it could have definitely gone a different way if he used those break points. He started off really well. I was pretty nervous at the beginning, and I just want to say respect to Roger for coming out tonight. He was obviously hurt. He obviously was hurt and wasn't at his best, even close to his best in terms of movement. And, respect for coming out and trying his best all the way through.
Was that on your mind in the first set early? Can we attribute some of the scoreline to you watching how he was moving and taking on information?
Well, yes, it was probably not exactly the right mindset from my side at the beginning of the match. I was kind of looking more on how he's moving and what he's doing rather than executing my shots in the right way, and it resulted with a 1-4 down in love 40, a lead for him. So, I managed to kind of dig my way through back and in the first set, and it was very important to win that first set. Obviously, mentally, kind of relaxed a little bit after that and could have swung through the ball a bit more.
So many of us remember that brilliant win you had at Wimbledon last year against Roger, where you won 3 tiebreaks to do it. First set tiebreak, just like at Wimbledon, you went in lockdown mode, no unforced errors. Where do you go mentally in those moments and ensure you're playing your best tennis?
Well, you know how it is. You haven't made too many unforced errors throughout your career as well.
We'll watch the tapes, my man. Oh, you'll see them.
Well, obviously, with Roger, you kind of know that you're going to expect a very high level of tennis, and he's going to come out, he's going to be aggressive, my style against his style. Obviously, he's going to come more often to the net. He's going to try to mix it up, play short slides, and put constant pressure and play some serves and volleys. And obviously, I'm not as natural as he is in those types of varieties in the game. But I try to stay with him in the rally and kind of move him around and not make too many upper stairs, as you said.
Yeah, none at all. 50 times you've played Roger. 50 times. It's amazing. How has he made you a better player?
Well, I hope I made him 20% better player than what he did to me in my tennis and my career. I mean, of course, he's one of my two biggest rivals throughout my life. I've played mostly with most of the matches at the Grand Slams against Rafa and Roger. So these two guys have definitely made a significant difference in my mind in understanding my own game and what it takes to really win against them. And at the beginning, I remember when I won my first Grand Slam title here in 2008. After that, it was 3 very tough years for me because every time I would get to a big match, finals or semis of Grand Slam, I would lose to one of these two guys. And it took a lot of thinking and a lot of belief and of course a lot of work to perfect the game and challenge those guys on the biggest stage.
Well, you've figured it out, clearly. 16 times you've lifted a major title. You're going for your 17th on Sunday. You'll be playing against 2 young players, relatively, who have never lifted one, but they've been close. They're good players, no doubt. So I want to just go back into your world for a second before we get on them. What have you taken from your experiences earlier in your career that now feels more natural? Obviously, you're more accomplished now. What were you missing earlier that you have now, just from a mental standpoint, to be able to play the way that you play in the finals?
Patience. When you're young, you want everything right away, and there's no waiting. Of course, you dream of becoming a world's top player, and Dominic Thiem and Alex Zverev are some of the best young players that play this game and definitely have high goals and ambitions, without a doubt, and definitely they have the potential to be there. But I think one thing that I was probably lacking a little bit when I was younger was patience and just trusting the process a little bit more. At times I was rushing a little bit too much and getting frustrated about details and small things in life. But that's how you learn. You can't really be a perfect human being and a tennis player from very young age. That's why we enjoy this beautiful thing called life.
We're enjoying a beautiful thing called your tennis here in Melbourne. Ladies and gentlemen, Novak Djokovic. He's in another final here in Melbourne. Let's have him hear it.
Yeah, it's pretty special to start posting the type of numbers that he is here at a major. Of course, Rafa's record in Roland Garros will be hard to beat, but who knows? You never know with Novak. He absolutely loves this course. Fitzy said right at the start of the broadcast, and tonight showed us why. These conditions here with the balls, especially in the last couple of years, having changed, you feel have actually played even more so into the way that he likes to play, and it was tough. Even if Federer hadn't have been where he was physically coming in this, you feel, to play the type of aggressive tennis he wants to defeat Novak. And the numbers would suggest that as well, Fitzy. It was a good performance from Roger. It was never at the level you felt that was going to win the match.
No, I thought, if you
Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it!